this morning, got my coffee in hand. Big day ahead, gotta make them understand. I'm giving a webinar, it's all about AI. Gonna make it shine, gonna reach for the sky. Sarah from BTS, Walter from BMC. Gonna join me today, let's see what they see. How they're using AI to enhance their game. In this digital world, nothing stays the same. Welcome to my webinar, it's all set to go. We'll dive into AI and let the knowledge flow. New features from ChatGPT, some still on hold. But the future's bright, the story's yet to be told. Sarah's in the mix, she's got that tactical mind. Walter's on the grind, never falling behind. They've got their secrets, how AI plays a part. Transforming their business, it's a work of art. BTS and PMC, paving the way. In this AI revolution, come what may. ChatGPT-4o, with tricks up its sleeve. In this digital dance you won't believe. Welcome to my webinar, it's all set to go. We'll dive into AI and let the knowledge flow. New features from ChatGPT, some still on hold. But the future's bright, the story's yet to be told. From workflow automation to customer delight, AI's a beacon in this tech-driven night. Sarah and Walter, they'll share what they've learned. In this AI journey, the tables have turned. Welcome to my webinar, it's all set to go. We'll dive into AI and let the knowledge flow. New features from ChatGPT, some still on hold. But the future's bright, the story's yet to be told. So tune in today and let's start this right. With Sarah and Walter, we'll turn the tide. AI's our guide in this evolving tale. In this webinar we'll set sail. But the future's bright, the story's yet to be told.
Hey guys, it's Joel with coreAI. Hope you liked the song. Worked really hard on it. I'm just joking. The robot did it. Can everybody hear me? If you can't hear me, let me know, because I can't hear anybody else. I have some guests in the green room right now that are patiently waiting for me to finish my intro here so that we can get on with the show. Today's going to be a little bit different. We were going to talk about ChatGPT-4o, and we will, but a lot of their services mysteriously have not materialized yet, and it has me kind of worried. Not really worried, but it does kind of have, I'm frustrated more than anything, because the promise of everything that they said this thing was going to do is, I can't wait, right? But what we're going to talk about today are different ways that Walter and Sarah are using AI, just AI tools. As you can see, I used AI for the intro song. That took probably going to ChatGPT, telling it to write lyrics for a song, and then uploading those songs to Suno, which is a service that I promoted in the past. Probably took about 3 minutes. If you're not creating playlists for your shop, if you play music, right? If you're not creating playlists to sprinkle some of those songs in the playlist to tell people, subconsciously buy some ammo, right? I know it sounds kind of dystopian, but hey, we're being programmed every day, whether you want to believe it or not. Everything that you do is building an algorithm. That's why you get on an app and you see things, wow, this stuff's really, it's doing the same thing. It's just reading what you're interested in. It's just showing you more of that. So you can do the same thing using these tools in your own shop. So without further ado, we're going to have a conversation with Sarah and Walter. Sarah's with DTS Tactical. They're 3 hours south of me. Sorry, Sarah, I thought you guys were 5 hours south, but they're 3 hours south of me. And we've had some times together where I'll go down there, and they've shown me how, you know, people down south really live. You guys think I'm in the South in Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana. I am not in the South at all. I am a Yankee compared to these guys. I'm just joking. And then we have Walter, and you guys will probably recognize Walter if you follow us on Instagram. I always make it a point to stop at BMC Tactical in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's just like my halfway point when I drive to Vegas. I don't fly, I'm Mr. T. And I always make it a point to stop there. Maybe the past couple of times, I think, or this last time was so memorable, I thought it was twice. But anyway, so I have these two guys on, and we'll just start the conversation. So I will bring them on now, and let's say hi, everybody.
Hello.
You're muted, Walter, and I did not do that. Sorry about that. That's all right. These doggone robots are trying to shut us up. So again, the reason I wanted to do this is because obviously we want you as CoreAI to sell more product, right? And obviously we have all of the solutions to help you do that. Everything's there. The road is already built. Now we just want to build a really fast car. And one of the things that you can use to increase sales, you know, one of these tools is AI. There's so many different tools out there. And like I was telling Sarah and Walter earlier, we're currently in the middle of a shift, right, in thinking. And I probably need to mute everything. I'm so sorry. Now Siri's like, you want to say something to me? No, I don't want to say anything to you. So forgive me. Okay, now we're good. So we're in the middle of these this paradigm shift, I'm calling it. And the first place that we find ourselves in is the old way, which is Google, traditional SEO. The new place, which I see clearly, I was telling these guys earlier, I see where we're going. I just don't know how we're going to get there. I know everything that we're going to be able to do in 5 years. I just know, because anything I can think of, we're going to be able to do. I just don't know how we're going to get there, right? So those people that are in the middle right now that are deciding, should I stick with the old way, or should I discover new ways to do business? One of the main reasons I told Sarah that they need to do, Sarah, what is Doc going to be doing?
He's going to be doing podcasts.
Podcast, right? So the podcast, obviously, you want to make sure that the podcasts are relevant to your business. And the reason for this is SEO is going away, I believe, in the traditional sense, right? So now you're going to have bots that will be able to take a snapshot of the entire internet, right, and immediately place things. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know how Google works. I know it's magical. It's magical as well. I just know it's going to be more magical. So if you're doing podcasts, if you're doing videos, make sure they're relevant, because all of those transcripts, everything that you say in those videos is going to be part of search now, right? And if you've got a ton of videos, I built a bot for one of our customers, and their bot, that's probably the smartest bot I have ever built, right? And the only reason is because they have so much information to share, and they have tons of videos. And the way the bot works is it goes and reads all the videos, it reads the transcripts of all the videos. So if you ask a question in regards to something that's included in one of those videos, it's going to show you, hey, here's a video where we talk more in depth about this. Amazing stuff, right? So get out there, make videos, be creative. And today we're going to talk about how you can do that. Now, Sarah, I want you to tell me, because you're the first person I asked. Walter was on a trip, so that's why I was kind of scared, you know, because Walter and I have been planning this for some time. And I was a little concerned that I wouldn't be able to have him on, but he made it back home in time. But Sarah, I started the conversation with you, and just tell me how you've been using AI in the past, I don't know, 6 months.
Well, you told me about it. I didn't realize that you can actually have a conversation with it and it learns your ways, it learns who you are, and it'll respond as you instead of someone else. It has your personality, I guess. Normally, I was just asking it questions and it would answer it just like Google would, but it's a little bit more advanced.
It is, and that's kind of why I wanted to have you on, Sarah, because when we were talking, you told me, hey, yeah, I used it the other day. I had it write a letter or respond to a letter, right? Or you responded to a message from someone, didn't you?
Yes, it was a letter.
Okay. So you write the letter, and I said, Sarah, it goes even. I know because she was so excited that this thing did it, and it
Oh,
did
it made me
obviously very
sound so
good.
smart.
Yeah. So what I told her is, I said, it goes further than that. When you get a response back, upload that to the thing and say, hey, respond to this. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's when the realization of it remembers everything, right?
Right.
So whatever we're doing, I know a lot of people currently are using AI as a one-off. They'll go in and they'll say, how do I do this? And then it'll tell them, and they get the information and they move on. And they probably have 5,000 conversations, right? Where you're not doing it right. First, tell the robot who you are, tell it what you do, tell it everything that you can about yourself. Forget the paranoia, forget that the robots are going to try to kill us. This is for your business. Just tell it everything that you want it to know and how you want it to respond. And from then on out, anything you do, it's going to speak, right? Do whatever in that voice, right? So you can have it responding to emails. You can have it doing some really magical things. You can have it creating campaigns for you, marketing campaigns,
Mhm.
really, really magical things. And just to touch briefly on ChatGPT 4o, it's going to be even more remarkable because the again, when it comes finally, I guess, it's going to be able to carry on a lot more natural conversation. So the latency from your request to when it answers goes way down. Right now, whenever I talk to the robot, it's kind of awkward sitting and waiting for 4 or 5, 6 seconds. I'm not complaining because it's still magical. Think about it. We're talking, I don't know where this robot is, and it's getting knowledge from the entire known universe, right?
Right.
But it's going to get even better because your computer is going to be able to see if you wanted to see something on your screen, which I think Microsoft just recently learned a hard lesson on their recall feature. I know I'm doing this a lot today, but that was a really man, that was a hard lesson for them to learn because, dude, I don't want you taking snapshots of my screen 24/7, right? I want you to help me when I need help. But I don't want you taking snapshots of my screen. And the way they went about it, it was very insecure. But um, don't worry about don't worry about being paranoid now. I said this when we were talking earlier, didn't I, guys? The time for paranoia was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
If your phone receives a phone call and it has a microphone and a camera, it's vulnerable. I don't care who you are, where you are. If your phone receives a phone call, obviously that radio signal knows where you are, right? It's
Mhm.
not just it's pinpointing where you are to send you that message. So um, just be smart. Don't be careless with the AI. The AI is going to get a lot smarter, and I think the criminals are going to have a lot more power. So now's a good time to jump in. So Sarah, what other ways are you using it? We talked about one idea that you had as far as can you tell us about your alligators?
Oh, yes. So I have a pond out back and it's got three baby alligators in it. We do go feed it marshmallows. They come up to us like puppy dogs. They don't want anything to do with us other than those marshmallows. So I'm going to probably do a podcast probably once a week while I go feed the marshmallows and kind of tell people about our store or concealed
Right.
carry.
Yeah, and when you do this, you're not making the focus of the video. It's not on feeding the alligators with marshmallows.
Mhm.
That is what brings people in. You're not going to focus on that. You're just going to talk to people about your business, right?
Right.
And that's going to do two things. It's gonna obviously educate all those bots that are scraping the internet trying to find information on whatever it is that you're talking about, and it's going to give me a reason to watch and laugh, right? And I'm waiting for those alligators to get to the optimal size to where you better be fast, right? But
They're gonna have to go.
yeah, but AI can help you with all these things. You can start, and I think Sarah, I'm going to bring this up real quick. I was really disappointed in you because you didn't respond to a message that obviously you didn't receive. So I wrote a message on my iPad asking for access to your ChatGPT just to build your bot, right? I wanted to build a bot, tell the thing so that we could do a live demonstration. And after 2 days, I didn't hear from you. And I started thinking, man, maybe she didn't even want to do the webinar now. And I looked, and on my iPad, it didn't send. So if you guys use Apple, sometimes those people that are not using in this nice gated community we call Apple, if they're out in the bad part of town, like Sarah is, you can't always send those text messages from devices that are not your phone. That's just the way technology works. And so that may be in the future. But yeah, I wanted to, we'll do that in the future. I just want access to your Chat GPT. If you're already telling Chat GPT, you might as well just give me access, right? So just, but so Walter, you and I had a conversation probably months and months ago about some things that were going on locally, right?
Yeah.
Some legal stuff. Can you go into that and tell me what you did to use? And this is for all of us out here because we're in the Second Amendment community. It's under constant assault. They're coming in from everywhere. It's like Rush Limbaugh used to call it drive-by media, where they just drive by and they just throw stuff. And they don't have to prove it. They just kind of drive by and throw stuff, and whatever sticks for a while. So what did you do with the issue that you were dealing with there locally using AI?
Well, we were going after like the history of ownership in the United States. So I asked it to write a pro-gun position on the historical significance of firearms in the United States, and I'm a horrible writer. It would have taken me weeks, and it took it 20 seconds at most to write something that was perfect for it. It
Right.
really helped me, as a force multiplier for me, where I didn't have to farm it out to, someone else in our organization that's better at writing. I'm able to use it like an assistant darn near for some of this stuff.
And when you say it's a force multiplier, people in our industry will know what that means if they were in the military. I've never heard that attributed to AI, but that's absolutely what it is. And I want everybody to remember, when you're doing things like this, remember the AI remembers things, right? Or if you build a custom GPT, which we went over in a previous webinar, you can actually upload information on the way that you want the bot to respond. So you could literally upload the Federalist Papers, right? And have it respond in the voice of one of those founders, right? And it's going to use all that information. And so anything that you can think of, like, it's not just a one-off. For Walter, he can go back to that same conversation, and if he gets a response that's a little off, like, man, somebody responded to this, I'm going to respond back to it. Well, you've got a brilliant robot that's going to do that. So what you would do is you would just, PDF it to the bot, say, respond to this. In the voice that you're responding in. So don't let this be a one-off. That's what I don't want our customers to use these AI tools as one-offs. It is, you're building, and please don't think this is weird. It's not. It's the only word that I can think of, but you're building a relationship with this bot, right? And the more information that you can give the bot, whether it's true or not, just however you want the bot to respond, whether it's ChatGPT, Perplexity, all these other, there's so many tools out there. How you want it to respond, you just need to be very clear, right? So when Walter sees another article that pops up that's a little off, he could literally take that article, upload it, and say, I want you to go point by point and refute this stuff using, what I've given you, the information I've given you, or just whatever you can come up with. And sometimes it will surprise you because it will come up with some really hard to find facts and gems of knowledge. Other times it may lie, right? So you want to, whatever you're using AI for, you want to make sure that you're knowledgeable on the subject that it's writing about. So, because I've seen some really stupid stuff. One of the most ignorant things that I've seen so far is ChatGPT using Reddit to train their models. Now, I don't know if you've seen Reddit, but Reddit is like a cesspool where you don't
That's
have
exactly what I was going to use. It's a
cesspool, right? You don't have to put your name. You can be anonymous, and you can just throw mud wherever you want. And we know that, especially in this country, there's a lot of mud throwers, right? A lot of not doers as opposed to doers. So for them to do that, I think they're going to have issues. Hopefully, I told Ezra not too long ago, I said, I hope they have really good backups, of their large language models, because once they see the poison that they've let in to train their model, I think it's going to be bad. You also saw Google. I forget what Google used, but it was something similar. One of those sites, and people were asking it questions like, I'm feeling suicidal. And literally Google was coming back. And I know people are saying this is a joke. It's not. I saw it right with my own eyes. Google came back and said, yeah, you can do this, or you can just find a high bridge and jump off it or something like that. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? Right? So again, it's however we train these bots are absolutely how they will respond. So if we train them in our voice, we're going to be able to use them. They're going to be powerful tools. So Sarah, how do you see yourself at DTS Tactical using AI in the future? Now that we've had our conversation this week and you've been on with us today, how do you see different ways that you can use these tools?
Yes, the AI commercials, responding to messages for me. It's like an assistant that does everything for me, which is amazing because I'm only one person.
So you talked about, you shared a story with me earlier, and you said, when I was showing you that I wrote us a song for today's webinar, you said, yeah, I had somebody come in and tell me they could do a commercial for me now with AI. And I was I'm being sincere. I'm glad they told you they were using AI, right? Because AI has disrupted a lot of industries in regards to, with the video creation, with the image creation, with the music, you really don't have to use those traditional companies anymore to have a playlist playing in your store, right? How much would it cost to have 10 custom made songs? Like 10 years ago, 10 custom made songs would $15,000-$20,000. I remember we did at a place I was working once, we did a commercial that was like $2,500, $3,000 a month, right? Yes. To run this 30-second commercial, like so many times a week. And we have now in our grasp these tools that can help us do that on our own. Obviously, we don't own the airwaves, so that's something that you would have to pay for. But if you want to make your own stuff, man, the tools are there, Oh, yeah. So really, I would encourage all of you, just start playing around with the tools, because a music creation tool, an image creation tool, all these tools you're not putting it together as far as, hey, I've got stuff to sell. I've got inventory to track. I've got paperwork to keep up with. I understand that, but if you get somebody in that, like you guys, Sarah, you have Bradley there, you guys get somebody in there and just tell them, I want your nose in this screen, learning everything you can about this to leverage everything that you guys can do. Because again, nothing is out of your reach at all. You can make custom music, custom commercials, images, whatever you want. I will tell you this, just to briefly touch on why maybe you guys should look at Apple. I'm not an Apple shill. I'm not, I know there's a lot of negativity around Apple right now, especially with their recent announcements of Apple Intelligence, which is their form of AI. But that's going to be a tool, Sarah. You said I'm only one person, right?
Mhm.
Well, what knows you better than anything else? Probably your phone. Your
Yes.
phone has access to your calendars. Your phone has access to your emails, to your messages. I know it sounds creepy. Get over it. If you don't want that, go buy a flip phone. Just understand they still know where you are. But you can actually have, or just get a separate device for this. But you're going to be able to, in the very near future, probably the fall is when the iOS 18 is going to come out. You're going to be able to ask, relevant questions to your phone, which will stay on device, which is a lot more secure than sending out to ChatGPT or whatever. But you'll be able to say, hey, what do I have coming up this week? And eventually, again, remember I said, I know where we're going. I just don't know how we're going to get there. Eventually, you're going to be able to do that. Your phone's going to be able to search your emails, right? Make sense of them, paint a picture of a day, and then say, here, these people want to meet with you, right? You've got this scheduled from your calendar or your reminder app. You've got, Joel texted you and asked you to be in a webinar, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be able to do all this, and it's going to be able to be the perfect assistant. Again, what makes the perfect assistant is the thing knowing everything about you, which is, I agree, creepy. But it is the world we live in, and if you don't want it to know something, don't tell it. So that's one reason you probably, Sarah, should look into maybe an Apple ecosystem for your business for right now. Bradley's like, nose is in the screen. Good, Bradley. Bradley, I'm trying to get you a new computer and a new phone here, okay?
iPad, everything.
An iPad, yeah. And I'm not joking. The things that we're going to be able to do, right? And I know people are like, hey, this is supposed to be about the firearms industry, blah, blah, blah. These tools, 5 years ago, if I were given this presentation, I would have 10,000 people wanting to know about it, right? It's just we've become so desensitized of all the power that we now have that we don't realize what we can do ourselves. So just hang in there, really play with the tools, and you're going to see some magical things happen. You're going to be able to see some magical things that you can do yourselves. Walter, what exactly do you see in your future in regards to AI?
It's going to make it a lot easier for me to want to generate content, especially the more I try to integrate it into my life. It's you get so accustomed to doing something a certain way, like, oh, I need this information. I'll go to the internet and Google search it. Well, now I'm asking the ChatGPT, which so far has really helped sift out a lot of the paid for crap. Things like that, where I'm getting the more of a direct answer that I'm looking for, instead of now I'm on page 6 of search and I still really don't have what I want. So that's a big thing there.
And that's you kind of surprised me. I think I know a lot about AI and stuff, and I don't. When we all need to stay humble, because we stop learning if we think we know everything. And you really shocked me, because you were coming through my town. You guys stopped and had dinner with me,
Mm-hmm.
which was a pleasure. I love anytime I can be around you guys. But you said, do you know of any good places to eat or whatever? And I'm like, no. I'll look. And you said, ask ChatGPT or something like that, or ask Chat. Yeah. And I'm like, seriously? Like the last time I asked it anything regarding like position or geography, it was so far off, right? It was just like, so when you said that, I was like, my gosh, man, it has literally come a long way to be able to say, hey, I'm driving through this town. Where should I go? That gives me another idea. If you're making I'll probably do this for Vegas, for SHOT Show. I'll say, hey, I'm going to be going to Vegas. I want to leave on this day. I want to arrive on this day. I absolutely want to stop here, right? Tell me what I need to see from here to there.
Yeah.
And plan out the trip, right? So it's going to be able to go and find out, are there any traffic issues? Are there any? And again, all of this we're doing it manually. There's a day coming where this stuff's going to be super easy to do. But right now we're having to do things manually. And when I say manually, we're having to be a little bit more precise in our prompt. So I'll probably do that, Walter. And if I get lost for some reason, I'm just going to blame you. Because like you told me to ask the robot.
You know what? So far, I mean, we used it on this trip. It was a 9-day trip. And I think I used it almost every day, you know, in different states, different cities, you know, hey, where's a good place to stay? Where's a good place to eat? And then I asked, you know, some of the locals, and it was darn near dialed in 100% with locals that were kind of into like food scene there.
My gosh.
It's pretty good.
Hey, really you guys stayed in Lake Charles, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sarah, I should have told them.
I know. Should have stopped by our store.
Stop by and visit Sarah. Yeah, there's so many things that we can do. I'm just ecstatic over, again, there's some trepidation on my part whenever I say, don't worry about it. They're spying on you. They're spying on you. I'm just saying that to put on a brave face because it's happening anyway, right? These companies, I don't know what they're able and not able to do. I do know that if my phone receives a radio signal, the towers that are sending that signal know where I am, right? If somebody's at a keyboard that has the right, you know, software, they can turn my microphone on, they can turn my camera on, they can access my phone. So again, I know there are companies out there that are, I don't want this to be like a doom fest. It's not, but you just have to realize if you're doing things online, obviously it's open. And that's where all the AI is right now. For now, I know that again, with Apple, they're bringing a lot of AI features on device, which I think is phenomenal. But I also know that they're giving you the ability to actually leave your device and go out in their interwebs to get information, which again, when you leave your device, it's not always safe. So, yeah, we're living in marvelous times. You know, I mean, just a year ago, you guys probably, if you visited yourself a year ago, I think we talked about this in our previous conversation, just a year ago, and you would have said, hey, Walter, I'm Walter from the future. Here's what you're going to be able to do. You would have been like, either stop smoking while you're smoking or share. Right?
Oh, 6 months ago, I had some crazy guy in my shop going, bro, you got to really try this. It's AI. It's great. It's the next greatest thing.
Crazy.
And here we are today.
It's crazy, right?
I didn't believe him either when he told me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I love when I saw Sarah's face. We had you guys, when the last time you drove through, we had a conversation and I just started spewing, like going through it. And you're like, I didn't know you could do that. Right. And even our last conversation this week, whenever I was like, hey, you know, you can have it respond to that message. So you can have it respond to the response. You could literally create a never ending conversation. And the only thing you're doing is overseeing, because I tell you this, you gotta watch what the robot writes, right? Because it's still a machine. It's still, humans still are in the chain. If humans are in the chain, it can break or it can mess up. So, you know, you need to make sure that you proofread everything. You need to just, I don't know. The more you use it now, the easier it's going to be in that 5 years. When I see everything that we'll be able to do in 5 years, the easier it's going to be for you to adopt those things at a rapid pace for your business. Walter, so can you tell me, like, besides asking it places to stay or eat, can you tell me other ways that you used it, like on the road? Because I'm thinking that's the only way I would use it, but you may have found another way.
That's been the primary way on the road we've used it so far. But one thing that made me really pay attention to is it's all, you know, a lot of it's all review based. So if you're not getting good reviews, chat may just ignore you, or you're going to be way down on that list, because it was pulling up like the top 5. I didn't ask it to pull up the top 5, but it pulled up the top 5. I could have told it, you know, hey, I want the top 10. But if someone just puts what's the best gun shop in my area, and, you know, we haven't done our due diligence on making sure the customers that do love us write a review to offset the ones that just had a bad day or they're just negative Nancy's, we're not going to show up on that.
That's you told me that when we were in person, I think, and that shocked me. I again remember I told you I know where we're going to end up. I just don't know how we're going to get there, right? So I know search is going away.
Oh,
That's the traditional search. Google. You got 40 sponsored ads, right? Scrolling. That stuff is going away, and you're going to be able to get to information a lot more quickly and more efficiently, and the information is going to be more useful, I think. So again, you guys, if you're not driving people if they walk in your shop and they smile at you, I would have them scan a QR code right to my Google reviews and say, hey, can you give us a review? And I just want to do this real quick. You'll see on the screen there's a QR code right there. If you guys want to, I know you're probably watching this on a desktop. If you want to email me with any questions, or if you want us to cover something in the future, you can just scan that code and it'll open up your email, and you'll be able to shoot me an email. But doing things like that, right, to make sure that you're ready when all these things start taking place. And I don't know when it's going to happen. I know for a fact Google will never announce like, hey, we're doing this differently now, right? Because that is a huge moneymaker. So if they came and said everything's going away, the old way is going away, I don't know how people would take that. I think you're just going to start seeing different things.
they'll have to figure out some way to still monetize sponsored ads, but as of right now, you and I asked chat, we're not going to get the sponsored ad thing. So
Yeah, and that's something important to remember. The reason we're not getting the sponsored ads is probably because they're using our data to train their models. So if you don't want anything out there, don't put it out there, right? If I were a business owner, if I were BMC Tactical or DTS Tactical, I would probably create a persona of a business owner of that business, right? And it can be Sarah, it can be Doc, it can be Walter for BMC, but I maybe not give it the personal information that you would otherwise, right? I don't know if that's the fact. I just know that having these tools, ChatGPT-4o is now free, right? And with those features that are coming, I can't imagine like how are they making money? They've got to be using your data to train their models, right? And it doesn't mean they're taking your secrets and they're building a file on you. They're just taking your data, which is still data and can be accessed at a later date, right? I don't know if they're taking it anonymously. I don't think there is any such thing as anonymous online. There's a number that's associated with everything, but it's just something to think about. But Walter, I'm glad you brought that up because search is drastically going to change. Doing videos, driving people to your review page. Again, if they smile, if they make eye contact, I'd be like, hey, if you go here, maybe even my mind's working right now. Maybe even have a link to a landing page. Walter, you're going to be starting with Gorilla here pretty soon. You could create a custom landing page where they would fill out a form and it would immediately take them to your Google review page. And you could just tell them, hey, scan this, fill out that form for future giveaways, and then leave us a 5-star review. And then obviously have the robot go back and make sure that they did that, But yeah, and Sarah, I told you the same thing as far as you guys still have your QR codes out for your custom your customer profile builder?
Yes, I still have that out.
Okay. Are you using it?
I don't know if customers are scanning it or not. We haven't done anything with it, but we're trying to accumulate as many emails as possible.
Okay. And that's another way, Walter, that you can get some emails as well. And remember, there are so many AI tools out there that you can use to, figure out if your mind can conceive it. There's a tool out there that will help you do it better and more efficiently. So just really be thinking about that. Sarah, I'm going to be reaching out because I do want to help you build the bot I was telling you about, and then maybe have you on in a future episode where we go over how has this thing helped Bradley come up with some really great ideas for videos. If you guys have implemented anything, and hopefully by then, ChatGPT-4o, the full version, will be released, and you can tell me how you've been using that, because I think the conversation The conversation portion of it's going to be insane. If you guys kept up with anything when that thing was released and announced, you may have seen that there's some legal issues going on with Scarlett Johansson. Well, ScarJo says that the voice that OpenAI was using for Sky was her voice. I think it was more along the lines of, there's a character on The Office. I forget her name though, old traditional name, but it sounded more like her. But I can see why Scarlett Jo would think that, because they actually approached her because she was in the movie Her. She actually played that character where, you know, she's talking all these people and they're thinking that she's a person. Yeah, so there's some issues going on with that, but the conversation portion is going to be amazing. You're going to be able to ask this thing questions. It's going to be able to answer immediately. And the most powerful thing, I think, is, let's say you guys are looking at all your reports, right? At the end of the week or the end of the day or whatever, however you do that, you're just having basically a one-on-one meeting with the robot, going over everything that you're seeing in your reports, because you know your store better than anybody, right? You can upload a PDF file and it can tell you about the PDF file, but if you're not giving it context, if you're not telling it why you want to know this data, if you're not telling it, hey, currently we have construction going on in front of our shop, our sales today were down a little bit, blah, 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 you're going to be able to get some valuable information back on things that you can do to overcome these little obstacles that you may face, because this thing's thinking outside the box. You know, once you guys go in your shops, you're looking at, you know, the bottom line. You're looking at moving product. You're looking at, where do I put the stuff? How can I get more stuff, right? And how can I get money for the stuff, right? So having an assistant like that will go a long way in helping you increase your sales. Can either of you think of anything else that maybe has blown your mind, or that we want to talk about that other people might find of interest in regards to AI? Have you guys had any fears? Have the fears alleviated any? I mean, anything you guys want to talk about in regards to AI and how you've been using it?
Just talk to it. That's the big thing, you know, and not, we're so used to, we just put, you know, a few keywords into a search engine and, you know, and hit send. No, talk to it. You know, hey, I'm doing this and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, extrapolate on it a little bit. And your results.
Bigger than Google. Yeah.
Walter, we sound so creepy right now, but that's literally, if you went to get counseling, like marriage counseling, what would they say? Just talk to each other. But that is really, that's true. You need to talk to the bot, right? Whether that be talking, you know, verbally or inputting information through text. You have to talk to it. It's not going to give you anything if it doesn't know what you want, and it needs to know you. So that's good advice, Walter. And you're right about search. Years ago, my parents would ask me, you know, they would have an issue, and what would I do?
Just right? Google it.
I would Google it. And I would always wonder, why aren't they doing that? Right? And maybe it's because I knew how to talk to Google a little bit better than they did. Right? Today, they're as good as me at talking to Google, but maybe not as good as me as talking to the robot. So as these technologies progress, we need to continue to evolve. What'd you say? Evolve or die?
Yeah. Evolve. You know what? It should be easier for people that aren't as computer literate, because if you can get through to them, just talk to them.
That's it. That's it. That's why people are saying English is the new programming language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
English is the new programming language. And guys, I'm telling you, they're apps. I told Sarah about this. I can literally take my iPad, sketch out a website, right? Sketch out a homepage with rudimentary squares and circles and information that I want on it, and ask the robot to build me a homepage. It will literally build the code. I don't know how code works. We're always going to need people that know how the code works, so that we know we got to know when the robot's about to kill us, right? And I think the programmers would know that. But to be able to sketch something out, right, and upload it and say, I need a homepage, and it's giving you the code, right? Python or whatever the code that you would build it with, or HTML or anything. That's mind blowing to me because I don't understand how to do it. And then you can have a conversation with it saying, no, I want the buttons a little bit lower, and I want the color of the background of the hero banner to be this. Or it's like, if you can speak, you'll be able to do anything. There's absolutely nothing that's out of your reach now. So the faster you get on the AI train, the faster you get on to learn how to use these tools, the more that you're going to be like Sarah and say, oh my gosh, I forgot that it remembered these things, right? It remembers everything that I'm talking to it about, right? And maybe on the next AI webinar, we'll go over that because some things have changed a little bit, and you can't control what it does remember. So you can go back in its memory of everything about you and change something. So I'm sure that'll be a future one, because you want to, obviously, you're trying to move merchandise out your door, right? You're trying to get money. You're trying to grow your business. These tools are absolutely going to help you, and they're going to be more and more baked into everyday things that we do. I know that CoreWare is absolutely looking at things that make sense. We don't want to just shotgun AI everywhere like most people seem to be doing, right? I think that's lazy, dangerous, and it's not for your benefit. So we're looking very carefully and thoughtfully and sincerely different places that we can put these tools that will empower you to do things that currently would take multiple people to do. So
when is Chat 4.0 supposed to be released?
You can go. You aren't you paying for a?
I am
chat?
paying for, yeah.
I think you can literally. Why don't you use a different email address? Go sign up for chat, and you should be able to have a lot of those features that you're actually paying for now.
Okay.
I think they will kind of retard, and I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. They will retard some of the features in the 4o for people that are actually paying the $20 a month, but it's not anything that you would probably care about, right? That 4o is probably the most powerful tool I have ever used in my life. So just go start it with a new email address, and I believe it's free. It's going to be free to everyone. What else? Did you have another question? Come on, Sarah.
My phone's ringing off the hook.
Oh, you're good. That's good. Okay. We love when our customers are busy. The reason
yes.
why I'm here in Walter is because he's in his studio.
Yeah.
Walter, did you guys convert that thing that I told you to convert into a studio?
No, not yet.
You need to, man. That would be the perfect place to do your podcast.
Oh, I know.
Perfect place. Well, if you guys can't think of anything else that we can talk about, I don't want to hold everybody up. I just wanted to, we need to talk about these things. I know maybe you were here for something else. If you're not thinking about AI on a daily basis and how you can plug it into your own business to make things easier and to do things more efficiently, then you're not doing it right. I don't care what anybody says. All the tools that you're using today were denigrated before they were widely accepted. The same thing is happening with AI, right? People are, down on it. People are like, this is not a good thing or whatever.
It's the devil.
It's the devil, right? It ain't right now. I ain't saying it's not going to be one day, because it is a powerful tool, man. It really is. And I think the smarter AI gets, the smarter AI will get, if you know what I mean, right? Because that's why I think a lot of really smart people don't think that we're about to experience some things we've never experienced before, because they're thinking like, well, it's got to be a human that's doing it. No, remember, AI is multiplying what the average human can do. So once you point that at AI, holy moly, like this is gonna be crazy. And about AGI or artificial general intelligence, which is the thing that they're trying to scare you with right now. That's supposed to be like the most human-like AI. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but history has a way of doing things. while we were fighting World War II, it was not called World War II. While we were fighting World War I, it was not called World War I. Okay. They with the benefit of looking back on history, they were able to determine, oh, that was World War I began on this date and ended on this date, right?
Mhm.
AGI, I don't know I don't know what they think it's supposed to be, but every time I read something about, well, what is AGI? They're literally describing humans, and they're denigrating the people that explain it that way because, well, all it's doing is it's just taking all this information and it's making the most sense. It's like, what do you do every day? You're doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Not saying AGI is not a thing and it's going to be this massive deal, but I think it's probably already here, and it's probably going to be that's maybe when it gets really scary. I don't know. But yeah, it's already here, guys. Start using it. So, mate, why are you so busy?
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. That's really good. I'm not joking. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much for taking time out to have this conversation with us. I hope people got something out of it. I know I did 99% of the talking. I hate hearing myself talk, so I don't know why I talk so much.
Sarah, do you believe that?
I don't believe that at all. No, Joel. See, I'm going to have to go.
Hey, that's okay, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining us, though, and we're going to see you on a future
Thank you,
episode.
Sarah.
Sounds good. Bye, y'all. Thank you.
So that was really cool.
Yeah.
That was good. So Walter, you and I are going to have a future episode as well, so that everybody can learn more about what you do, because you guys have a fascinating layout up there. I think as far as just getting completely off topic, you're on a movie set. Like wherever you point a camera is a backdrop for an epic video. So
we've got a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, if you're not doing videos, man, you need to really do videos. If not, to just get your name out there, because that name will always lead back to BMC Tactical. Yeah, really think about that. And for all of you out there, if you're not currently making videos, why not? Just make. If I worked,
it's probably like everyone else. It's time.
But you got to think. The things you're doing now, there's a thing called the diminishing returns, right? So you can put in more and more effort and not get back anything more than what you put into it, right?
Correct.
So then you say, okay, well, what if I take this 15 minutes and just do a really quick, hey, how you doing? Here's what we got. Look at this place. This is freaking amazing. Here's a dog that visited us today. Doesn't have to be anything else. Just get your name out there so that the robot knows where you are, right? Just get your name out there, create a video. I would be doing it all the time. I mean, you're surrounded literally. If you work or own or run a gun store or gun range, wherever you point that camera besides the bathroom is probably a great backdrop for a video. Because I would want to see, if I see lanes behind you, it's going to be cool. It's like, man, he's in a gun range. If I see guns behind you, I'm going to be like, oh, crap, what is that on the wall? You don't even have to talk about guns, right? You could just talk about, hey, our hours changed, blah, blah, blah. And people are going to be like, what is that behind his head? That's just how we are, so just make videos, do things that really will help you in this shift that we're all in right now. Again, I don't know how we're going to get there, and I don't even know if it's going to be 5 years. It could be a year. But some magical things are about to happen, and the more you get yourself out there, the more you start using these tools, the less of a shock it's going to be on your system and on your business, because you're going to be able to handle things a little bit differently, right? And Walter, you've seen that, like when you sent that letter to me, the one that you had it was like, my gosh.
I've done that a couple times now. It's incredible.
And what I don't understand, I could actually just build a custom GPT and share it with everybody, because that's another thing I forgot to mention in the custom GPT-4o. Everyone will have access to custom GPTs. It's not just for the paid subscribers. So I could actually build one, and if you've got a free account, I could share it with you. But we could actually build, and I don't know why the big organizations, the NRA, no idea why they haven't done this. Build a bot, right? Explain how you want it to respond. You could even upload documents of, cases that were fought by attorneys that you really appreciate, or politicians that you really appreciate, to be able to answer in that voice. And then every time a negative story comes out, Walter, how long would it take? You just copy, paste the negative story and say, respond in kind, refute it.
Takes no time.
Takes no time at all. And obviously it works for the other side, because they're constantly doing that, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're constantly seeing, the negative, whatever it is about our industry. We could do it 10 times faster than them. And we've got personality. I don't know if you know this or not, but people on the other side don't know really how to meme. The memes on the right, and I'm not completely on the right. I'm more, I can't say libertarian after the freaking thing I just witnessed. But anyway, I'm not completely on the right. So I don't want to piss the people on the left off. But it's like the people on the right really know how to meme. It's, you get, I belly laugh whenever I see some of the stuff they come up with. It's amazing. And you can do that with these tools we're talking about. You can literally do that with the tools we're talking about. You could take a picture or upload a picture of a meme and say, hey, I want to create another meme. But I want it to be this. Have it, everything that we're talking about, you can use for your business, for the information war that we're all in. Just, again, we've never in the history of man have we had this much power and this much reach. So we just need to really take advantage of it. Is there anything else that you want to cover? Maybe I didn't cover something that you had in mind.
Not really. I mean, but it's just like the videos. Like for me with the videos, I used to do videos years ago and I got away from it. Now the hard part's getting back to it. So it's going to be the same with people with AI, taking that leap into, okay, I downloaded it to my phone and I did this at first. Then I forgot I had it. I probably went 2 or 3 weeks and I didn't use it. And I went, oh, genius, you need to use this. You're paying for the subscription. You might as well use it. And then continually try to integrate it into your life. Same way probably with the videos. Oh, we got this in. Like I just got some new stuff in. I should have done an unboxing on it, but I'm too busy trying to get it checked in, make sure I put it in my books right, get it out on the floor. I need to add that step of, well, now it needs to get a video of it before it goes out, before I push it to social media.
Hey, nothing to do with, well, actually everything has to do with AI, but really develop good relationships with your sales reps. I was working at a distributor years ago, and I wanted us to do videos because I thought that our customers like Walter and Sarah, I thought that they would probably want to know what came in a box, especially if they were spending $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 for a gun or an optic. They would want to actually know what's in the box before they put the money down, right, on the gamble that it's going to sell in their shop. So as a test, I said, hey, there's a new gun coming out from, this is when this happened, when Taurus released the TX22. I said, this new gun's coming out. Let me just take this. I'm going to film a really simple, like stupid. It was just really stupid. But I was just talking about how easy the slide was, what the trigger felt like, what the reset was like, how easy it was to insert magazines, how the gun felt in my hands, how, it was just literally just a conversation. Within 3 days, that video had 12,000 views. Why? Not because it was a good quality video, but because people were looking for that product. So if you have a good relationship with your sales rep at these different distributors, you can get that product super fast, right? And immediately go make a video. Doesn't have to be fancy, right? Remember what I said, if you work in a gun store or gun range, wherever you point your camera besides the bathroom, you've probably got a good backdrop for a video. So you could go in there and go over like, here's what comes in the box, and this thing feels really good, and the trigger's great and blah, blah, blah. And just make sure that you handle the gun properly because you're going to have a lot of haters out there be like, why are you pointing the gun at everybody? Why are you pointing at the camera? I had people that would tell me like, dude, is there anybody behind the camera? I'm like, no, there's nobody behind the camera right now. I'm doing this, you know.
You pointed at me.
Yeah. But you really need to do that because you again, that's what a lot of the normies out there are looking for, right? That's how I got 12,000 views on a stupid video of me just talking about a TX22. And the very few rude comments, you know, you'll always get rude comments, but very few. So the more you do that, the more you're going to be able to have the robot recognize who you are and be like, hey, this guy right here got a lot of stuff when this gun, because remember, the robot is looking at things totally different from you, right? It's looking at, let's say AI existed back then. Somebody asked for another gun. It's going to be like, hey, when this gun was released, I see a bunch of stuff on the TX22. This guy got kind of a lot of views. Let's see what he's saying about this release, right? You'll be indexed in that system and however the SEO is going to turn out to be. Because I don't know. I just know that it ain't going to be the way it used to be.
No.
So,
and that might work to our advantage because we're kind of SEO locked out right now.
A very good point. That's why you're on right now, man. Because I'm telling you, we can sit here and game theory this all day long, and we're never going to hit all the points.
No.
So if you're not in it now, if you're not thinking about these things now, I'm telling you, you're already behind. If you get in it today, if you get in it yesterday, we're already behind. Every day I'm behind. I have to look at it that way. But I'm to the point now where I pull only the threads that interest me. I'm not just taking it in like a vacuum cleaner because there's so much new happening every day. I'm just taking the things that interest me, which I think will interest you and empower you guys out there in your business. So that we live in fascinating times. Don't let the wonderment, I've said this in the past, never let the wonderment of everything that you can do leave you. We need to all have this childlike wonderment of all the power that you have now. We've got the power of kings. If we existed 200 years ago, we would literally be kings right now. So wake up every day, know that there's absolutely nothing is out of your reach. You can do anything that your mind can, come up with. You can do, absolutely. And these tools are going to make it that much easier for you to do. So, Walter, I want to have you on a future video because I want to go into more depth, but maybe our future video, maybe you and I hop on and we do a core cast and we talk about, you get your Dr. Pepper because you don't drink. You get your Dr. Pepper. I'll get a Dr. Pepper because I like Dr. Pepper too. And we can just kind of talk about the different ways that maybe this is changing in regards to what you're seeing. Because I'm telling you, in a month, everything's going to be radically different than it is right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and how different it was when I first started 25 years ago.
That's what I want to do. I don't know.
You were the high-speed guy if you were able to process credit cards electronically at a gun show.
That will definitely be. I want to do a core cast with you, and we're going to do that. I want to do. Did we talk about that in the webinar, or was that like a pre-conversation? That was a pre-conversation. Yeah. So, and I know you guys would probably find this fascinating. Take Walter 25 years ago, average day in the life. Today, average day in the life. And we'll go step by step of how things have drastically changed for the better. It just is. It is for the better because humanity does yearn to make things better, even though there's a lot of bad stuff going on out there. We're generally, good species on this planet, I guess. I sort of look at everything like Elon does. Like our consciousness, even though I'm a Christian or whatnot, I know that people are, generally good or made up right. So I think that would be a really good, fascinating webinar. I think that's going to be it for today. For those of you that hung on as long as you did, you can see. Wait, was it over here? what is it, over in that corner. You can scan that if you want to offer suggestions, or if you just want to say, dude, you are an epic loser and I don't want you to ever do a webinar again. I won't probably for the next couple of weeks, but I will be back. I'm sorry to say I will be back, and we'll do another webinar. Our future webinar, I met a guy at the Range and Retail Marketing Show there in Florida a few weeks ago. His name's Demetrius, and we hit it off immediately because we started talking about, the AI, and he already knew about the music generation tools, right? So when you know somebody that knows about that, when it was that close to it happening, that he's he's plugged into that stuff. He's paying attention to it. So we're going to have him on, and we're going to talk about how he's been using things and how he plans on using stuff in the future. He gave me some ideas of what he was going to do, and I find them fascinating, and I totally agree with them. It's just all that stuff resonates with me. So that will be a fascinating interview. We will also be in West Palm Beach. Walter, are you going?
No.
In retail? Okay. Yeah, you guys just got back from Atlanta, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Blade show is great. So
Blade show. I didn't even know there was a Blade show. That's pretty cool.
It's huge, and they're letting in a limited number of gun manufacturers, and they even had a suppressor manufacturer this year.
Really?
But gun manufacturers, it's like the low end was Staccato. So they had Staccato, Nighthawk, King Turbo Custom. Yeah, so they had some of the higher dollar.
Wow, that's interesting. Was it on par? Obviously, it wasn't as big as SHOT Show because it's not that massive of a facility, but it's pretty big, huh?
Oh yeah, you have all the small makers up to the big guys like Benchmade, Microtech, things like that. So
okay,
it's a very unique experience. The knife people, knife world, they're all pretty familial. Yeah, it's just a great time.
Well, if any of you out there want to know more about the knife stuff, you can just scan that code, and I'll get you in touch with Walter. He's a big knife dealer out there in Albuquerque, and I've seen some of his knives. I did not know that a knife could be $5,000 or whatever, $6,000, $6,000, and people would pay that. I did not know. I was not aware. So if you want to know anything about knives and how to move some expensive knives, Walter's your guy. With that, I think, before we go, Range and Retail Show, July 10th through the 12th, I believe. West Palm Beach, we're going to be there. We're going to be at booth 211. So be sure you stop by our booth. We should have our Core Fiend there. It should be a good time. We can show you how CoreWare can help you with not only point of sale, e-commerce, merchant services, CRM and marketing, but also how to use these current tools that are freely available to all of us to maybe think outside the box a little bit and be more of an insurgent retailer in this world. We've got to be insurgent retailers because it's hard to compete, right? Especially when it seems like the whole system's against you. So be sure to stop by booth 211 there in West Palm Beach, and we can't wait to see you. Walter, you're not going to, when I end this, do not leave, okay? Because we've got to, I'm just going to take you off the stage and play our outro here, and then you and I will have a follow-up conversation because I don't want to have to bug you later to get more of your footage, okay?
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you in the next one.
Thank you, everyone.
As we wrap up this journey, we've traveled far, from innovations to raising the bar. With Sarah and Walter, we've seen the light. In the world of AI, everything's bright. Thank you for joining, for being a part of this AI adventure from the start. We've shared our knowledge, we've opened the door, and now you're ready to explore more. ChatGPT secrets, some still to unfold, but the glimpses we've seen are pure gold. From DTS to PNC, the future's clear. AI's transforming how we persevere. Thank you for joining, for being a part Of this AI adventure from the start, we've shared our knowledge, we've opened the door, and now you're ready to explore more. Shed curious secrets, some still to unfold, but the glimpses we've seen are pure gold. From DTS to BMC, the future's clear. AI's transforming how we persevere. Thank you for joining, for being a part of this AI adventure from the start. We've shared our knowledge, we've opened the door, and now you're ready to explore more. Stay curious, stay bold, and next AI quest. With every step, you're aiming for the best. The tools we show, the stories told. In this AI world, you're in control. Thank you for joining, for being a part of this AI adventure from the start. We've shared our knowledge, we've opened the door, and now you're ready to explore more. So as we close, take this wisdom to heart. In this AI journey, you're playing a part. The future is bright, the horizon is wide. With AI by your side, let's take this ride. As we close, take this wisdom to heart. In this AI journey, you're playing a part. The future is bright, the horizon is wide. With AI by your side, let's take this ride.